Hello and welcome to codecanvas. This channel is all about web development covering JavaScript, CSS3, HTML5, React.js, WordPress, ChatGPT integration, and even the basics of AWS. If you are looking to learn, build, and grow your skills, you are in the right place. Let's get started. In this video, we will learn how to break a URL into its component parts using JavaScript. So there are multiple ways that you can break your string or your URL into multiple fragments. So we will see four different methods today. Let's get started. First of all, let me open the console. Okay, and let's go to our JavaScript. So first of all, we will declare our URL. So URL, let's say, for example, this is just an example, https example.com. Let's say we have port as well, slash path slash name, and we also have query string, and in query string value is 123, and hash value we have, let's say, fragment. Okay, so we have this URL and we want to so we have to basically divide or break this URL into multiple parts. So first method, we will use the URL object, and that's recommended for modern browsers. Okay, so constant, we already have URL, right? So URL, so we already have constant, so URL, or you can say, let's keep it URL. Okay, new URL constant, new URL is equal to new URL object, and here we will pass URL, the string, URL string. Okay, and now let's go and try to log few values. So first of all, we will see protocol, and we can access new URL dot protocol and see. So protocol is HTTPS, right? So this is protocol. Similarly, we can log multiple values. So let's try to log host, that is new URL dot host name, that is again new URL dot host name. Similarly, you can check with port, that is port, and let's add few more. So with this port, you can add path name here, new URL dot path name. We don't need this. Okay. After that, we have a search. So again, new URL dot search, and last one is hash, new URL dot hash, and let's see. So as you can see, we have protocol HTTPS, host, that is example.com colon 8080, right? Host name is example.com, port is 8080, path is path slash name. So this is the path slash name. Search is equal to query 123. So this is query string. After question mark, it is query string. Query is equal to 123, and after this hash called fragment. So we have this hash value as value fragment. So this is the basic and very easy example that you can use using URL object. Okay, now let's see and try to see another method. Second method is using regular expressions. So in order to use that, let's create one function. parse URL is equal to, we will pass URL here, URL, and this is a function. Okay, so first of all, we will use one pattern here in regular expression. I have copied this pattern because no need to remember this. So let's use this pattern here, constant pattern. Okay, now we will use match function. Matches is equal to, we will use URL dot matches, and here not matches, it's just match, and we will use pattern here. Okay, so this is returning the matches. We have to simply return, or you can do log before returning, so we can see the results here, matches, and let's try to call this function. So to call this function, what you can do, you can use this URL here and call this function. So dot log, call this function parse URL and pass this URL here. And as you can see, we have this array with multiple fragments, right? So what we can do here, simply return. So let me remove this. Return, we can return an object. So protocol, first of all, protocol, we will return as a protocol, and as you can see, we have match of 1, that is protocol. Okay, so its match is not match. Okay, similarly, we can return host name, and host name will be matches of array 2. Again, a port is matches of 3 or empty. So sometimes if port number is not there, it will return empty string. Path name, matches of 4 or empty. Next is search, matches of 5 or empty, and similarly hash, matches of 6 or empty. And let's see what it is returning. So as you can see, it is returning the proper object, right? So using these regular expressions, you can divide this URL into multiple parts. Okay, so this was the second method. Third method is extracting query parameters. So what you can do, so let me create another URL out of this. So let me add this in comment, constant example.com. Here let me remove this port number. Path name is equal to something, so let me add here name is equal to John, and age is equal to 25. Okay, so what you can do, constant new URL is equal to new. So instead of this, what we can do here, simply new URL here, pass this object, and let's create new params variable. So params is equal to new URL search params, and here you need to pass URL dot search. Okay, and see what it is returning. So log these params, and as you can see, we have these search parameters. Right now nothing is there because we have, let's see, example.com URL dot search, new URL https example.com/path, name is equal to this and this, Okay, so this is params, and in able to get these values, you have to use get function. So here, name params dot get, that is a function, and you need to pass the value. So this is query string value, right? And let to add colon. So it is showing as null because let's see params dot get, it should return this John value. Okay, why it is not returning? Because we have not added query string here. So now we have John, and similarly you can also get the value age like this, right? Age 25, and similarly you can pass any number of query string values. So subject, for example, is equal to computer, and you can get the value of that parameter subject. So you can add subject here instead of the value, and subject, it will return computer. So this was the third method using query parameters. You can extract query parameters using this URL search parameters object. Okay, and the last one is, so let me add this in comment. Okay, so last method is using ES6 plus URL parser utility. So let's create that function parse URL. So let me see if it is, yeah, it's already in comment, so not an issue. So parse URL here should be URL string in argument, and it should return something. Okay, so let's try to add try an error, so we can make sure that we are handling all the cases. So constant URL is equal to new, again we are using new object, URL object, and URL string we are passing from here. Okay, now let's create another params is equal to object dot from entries. So this returns an iterable object that contains key value entries for properties and methods. Okay, so for from entries, so what we have to pass here, URL dot, so URL not URL no, it should be URL, this URL in this from entries function, the argument should be URL dot search params. Okay, so this is search params dot entries, and this is a function. Okay, now again this will return, so let's see what it is returning. So let me try to log here params. Okay, and what is showing some error? Okay, because we don't have error here, or we are not returning anything. So let me add the return statement, return. Okay, so we don't need return for now. Let me remove this log as well. We try, we need a catch as well, and we have error. What we can do, we can log the error here if required, but before that let's try to log the parameters, and with the same URL. So we have this URL now. Let me edit here URL and call this function. So parse URL is a function that you can use. Okay, and log this. So console.log and try to see. what it is returning. So as you can see, it is returning query 123, the query string. Right? Let me remove this hash, and age is equal to 44, and it should return query age 44 and query 123. Right? So what you can do here, just like this return statement, you can return here, and let me remove the comments. Okay, so again it will return like matches. Let me add the matches. So it should return. So right now it is not returning anything because okay, so it should return protocol URL dot protocol, not the matches. It should return like this. And let's see, return protocol URL dot protocol. Okay, so this is not array, this is, so let me add matches dot protocol, and see, it is still undefined because it should be URL, not matches. Yeah, so now we have protocol HTTPS, and similarly you can remove matches, and instead of array you can use dot hostname URL dot port. We have port here. Let's see. Yeah, we have port number here with this path name URL dot path name search URL dot search and hash URL dot hash. And it should return a proper object. Because we don't have hash here, let me add some hash value here so you can get here hash. So now, as you can see, we have hash, host name, path name, port, protocol, and query string in the search parameter, right? So using these four methods, you can parse URLs into multiple fragments. All right. Thanks for watching this video. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more similar videos. Drop your questions or suggestions in the comments. I would love to hear from you. See you in the next video. Until then, keep learning and keep coding.